What's up? In God's word, it says, do not judge others, or you will be judged the same. You will be judged to the same measure that you judge others. So we must be very, very, very careful about the way we speak about other people, the things we say about other people, what we may believe in our thoughts that may come about. Even though they may be true, we must understand that His word says that if we judge someone, hey, we'll be judged the same way. I'm not going to sit here and lie like it's easy to be a Christian and to not judge certain people, but we have to be very careful about the words that we say. God's words also say that it's not about the words that you hear that defile you. It's about the words that you speak. So you got to be very careful about what comes off of your tongue. You must understand that as Christians, we must walk a certain way. We must talk a certain way. We must act a certain way. And sometimes when we judge other people, we can be honest, it comes from emotions, especially if you love a person, especially if this is a person who's been very, very close to you, especially if this is a friend, if this is a brother or a sister, but you can't judge them when they do wrong because you did wrong before. You can't judge them when they make a mistake because you made mistakes before. You can't even judge them when they do something intentional to you because you have done something to a person who may be intentional as well. You may have hurt a person by words you may have said. We are not better than the next person. We must understand that. God made us all to be equal. Some choose the right path, some choose the wrong path. But it's not our call to say who's right and who's wrong, because you never know when God is going to encounter them. Your job and our job is to always be the same and to love. Because if we love them, God said, if you love, your enemies' hearts can change. So by the way that you act, they can change the way they act towards you. Remember, God also said in His word, hey, that when you want to know the truth about someone, always watch their actions. Their actions will show you the truth. I'm here to let you guys know that we got to stop judging people because we judge the same. Every seed you plant, the more you talk about someone, you water it. And you allow the devil to infiltrate. I've dealt with friends who have done me wrong and I judge them because you have done me wrong before. This person did this. I know they did this because of this happened and that happened. I put this together. I put a whole strategy together. But what is the devil doing? He's taking time as I'm taking an hour and a half to explain the strategy to a friend so they can believe me of what I'm saying. The devil is taking time away that God can be giving me the next plan for my life. The devil is taking time away that God can be ushering me into my vision. The devil is taking time away where I can be focusing on the purpose that God has gave me, while I'm developing a strategy to prove to someone else or even prove to myself the truth about another person. Our focus should be love. As hard as it is, I'm not going to say it's easy, but nothing is hard with God. Our focus must be love. When they don't love you, you still love. When they talk about you bad, you still speak about them good. When you hear things they've said, you make sure nothing goes back that way that's said bad. But according to the word, you don't have to worry about that. For every evil tongue that rises must be condemned. God said there's no weapon formed against you that will prosper. And every evil tongue that rises up against you, it will be condemned. We want to fight the battle. God said, place all the burdens on me. So He's going to fight the battle for us. You don't believe me? Well, in Joshua, while he was fighting the Israelites, they had more enemies than him. They had more soldiers than them. All the countries teamed up from the north against Joshua, one army. They still went to war because God said, I will never fail you or abandon you. And God fought for Joshua because He brought down a hailstorm, which killed more people than Joshua and his army swords had to. God is going to fight for you because you are his child, and he knows your heart. He knows your heart. The enemy will use your weakness against you. God said, guard your heart. Never let it be its weakness. Guard your heart. And be very careful, because it's a fine line in friendships. You have to know when to let go. You have to know when to let go. Because if you keep a person on too long, iron sharpens iron. Bad fruit attracts bad fruit. Eventually, you will fall. Because God may want to take you away from this friend so I can bring you to the friends that's going to help you get closer to me. God said his brother and his mother were calling for him. That's what they told God in Matthew. But he said, and he pointed to his disciples and said, these are my brothers and my mother, because these are the ones who help me do the will of God. This is all for God to get the glory, never for man. Trust God. Rely on God. Stay close to God. And watch how God directs your path and leads you to a land that's so beautiful. I pray you've been blessed. Be blessed.